7 you'd.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a couple beats. Enjoy. Yeah? Something like that.
Shacking Up with FREYA MCCARTHY.
So I'm going to use a loop that some of my other producer friends have sent me, and I'll get stuff like this sent to me all day, every day. So it's kind of like I've got a lot of stuff to choose from, and then I just make something with it, and then I usually send it back to them, and then they send it out, and I'll send it out and stuff like that. So let's kind of start. I usually always start by putting my main master preset on, which is the clipper that I was talking about before. It's quite loud, so I'm going to turn it down a bit. I'm going to take I put high pass on it, so when I put the 808 in, it will not be distorting or anything. I'm kind of hearing, let's add from this kit here. So for this, I will just add drums, but then with some of them, if I feel like it needs it, I'll add like an extra melody and something like that, because some of the ones I get sent, it just kind of needs an extra bit that I'll add. It's just that extra bit of collaboration. With stuff like this as well, like, I can already hear what the drums are going to sound like. Kind of weird, but it's like I can already hear what it's going to sound like in my head, and I'll just work from that. This isn't in the center. There we go. Let me add that back. Might add like a vocal chant now. And to make this a one shot so it plays the whole thing. A lot of the drum stuff is just adding catchy stuff that is familiar to the ear. And you kind of get used to hearing what's familiar and what's not, and what sounds out of place and what's not. So what I'm going to do to get the bass notes of this melody, because I can't hear it, I'll flex it and then I'll do flex pitch. And that'll basically just find the root notes here, like that. It's got C sharp, E, A, and then B. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. And now this may sound very distorted, but that's the style of this kind of beat that I go for. I'm going to do some mixing now, so I'm going to do what I did before, and I put all of the drums into a summing stack. And then do that to the EQ. Literally the same thing I do on every other beat. Mess around with this. I'm just getting the compressor to work for me, do its job, and just compress stuff when I don't need it that loud. And then add a exciter because with some of these beats, when they're really distorted, you want the harmonics of the drums to still come through, and sometimes they're lost, but you can bring those through with the exciter. I really like an exciter. And the mix is kind of good there, to be fair. Some of these are a bit loud. Might add a little effect. Let's see what this has got in this one. That's cool. And then what I'll do with the melody is I'll chop sections of it up, so then we don't need the rest of that. Duplicate the main track and take the EQ off of it. When the drums aren't in, you can still get the bass of the melody. Just turn that compressor off a bit. I'm going to add some variation on the drums, so I'll get rid of this part here. Maybe have the hi-hat come in later. Take out the snare rolls there. Have the 808 hit later. Repeat this over, and I'll have this fade out. There's a little bit at the end I need to extend because that's not looping properly. But that's kind of it. So what I usually do with stuff like this now is I'll send it out to the producers that made the loop, and then other artists that I think could be cool, or like A&Rs, so then they'll send it to people they know and stuff like that. That's kind of it.
Shacking up with FREYA MCCARTHY.